In Southern California, we've also spent a tremendous amount of money in the Los Angeles complex. We've invested about $115 million just since the year 2000. And some of you got to go visit our commerce facility today. Again, those investments allow us to continue to facilitate the efficiency of this freight that needs to either be destined for the local area here or to go on to the main part of the inland part of the country as well. Our largest facility is Hobart Yard. It's the largest inland intermodal facility in the world. The other way that we continue to become more efficient and be able to handle more freight, and quite frankly, the most efficient way to handle it, is our ability to handle on dock. And on dock simply means exactly what it sounds. Instead of trucking something to an intermodal facility, handle it at the dock. We've been really pleased with working with the ports to be able to increase our share of on dock. We now load about 60% of our units actually on dock. And we think about the reduction of particulate matters and other emissions, reduction of gas, of diesel, reduction of congestion on the 710. It's really a huge deal. Where this number can go is kind of hard to know. We know it will never get probably north of 80% because, quite frankly, the capacity will simply run out in terms of being able to have more capacity here at the ports. Other ways that we operate in an efficient, environmentally friendly way, we get more units on a per train, and these are, again, both of these productivity issues here. One is for all of our intermodal business, the other is for our stack train business, simply are showing what we're able to do in terms of the efficiency to move the freight, because the freight is going to be here, and when we can move a 10,000-foot train out, that will reduce congestion at the at-grade crossings as well as the overall rail network. So you've heard it all day. The title of from the title of the conference to the mayor when he led it off to I think every panel that was up here, and that is the need to grow, but to grow green. And we know that the future growth will come at a different profile in terms of how we've handled business in the past. And quite frankly, the rail story, and I think BNSF is quite frankly a huge key to the success of all these various issues. We're seeing significant reductions in terms of our emissions reductions on moving a ton of freight. Just since the year 2000, we've seen a 30% reduction in our nitrogen oxide emissions on our business. We're also exploring and pioneering some new technologies to include switch locomotives. I think Mike Rush mentioned our fuel cell locomotives. We also have a number of issues specifically with the state of California in terms of MOUs with the California Air Resources Board. These are really historic agreements that over a longer period of time you look, and it's just incredible the amount of reductions that we've seen. Well, one of the most significant ones was in 2005 when we signed an MOU having to do with particulate matter. The commitment calls for ultra-low sulfur, ultra-low fuel 6 years earlier than the national EPA rules, conducting health risk assessments at selected California facilities, hosting community meetings to hear concerns from the community, actively reducing visible emissions from locomotives, putting idling restrictions on our locomotives, and we're well on the way to implementing all of those. We've also invested a lot of our capital in clean locomotives. We've got 11 genset locomotives here in the state, and they are, right now, we believe, achieving an 80 to 90% reduction of particulate matter and also improving fuel efficiency in the 10 to 15% range. Last May, we also began testing liquid natural gas hostlers at our Hobart Yard. We also operate 4 LNG switch engines in Southern California, and right now, more than 95% of our diesels that's operated here in the state is ultra-low sulfur diesel. By the end of the year, we expect to have 99% of our locomotives equipped with the idle reduction technology. Another technology that we have recently introduced is our electric cranes. We just implemented this up in Seattle at our SIG yard. These cranes are powered by electricity versus diesel, much lower energy consumption. By design, these wide-span cranes also reduce the number of hostler trucks, again, then reducing diesel emissions. They're quieter for local neighborhood enjoyment, and there's special directional lighting on the cranes that reduces the amount of lights coming from the facility at night. We're also looking at the fuel cell locomotive, which we're pioneering. Mike, again, mentioned this a little bit earlier. We have recently began developing an experimental hydrogen fuel cell locomotive, and while this technology will take a while to become commercially viable, we know that it has great opportunity and great future.